Hey guys, Cam315 back at it with another video for you guys, and I am back with another One Piece manga chapter review for you guys as we are continuing on with the One Piece manga. Yes, like I said, if there's something big that happens in the manga, I will continue to talk about it. And there was another noteworthy chapter that I just had to talk about because I don't know what the hell happened. Actually, I do know what the hell happened, but hey, listen, you got crazy transformations by Imu and the Gorosei. We see the death of Cobra. Oh, and we just casually dropped that Vivi and the Nefertari family are members of the D clan now. Okay, I'll take it. Yes, One Piece is just getting very interesting. Let's get into this week's chapter because, oh my god. So this is chapter 1085 titled The Death of Nefertari Cobra. Cover page is of Frankie taking these sea turtles, these baby ones, making sure they get off to sea and making sure the crabs don't eat them. So yes, if you know the thing about sea turtles, when they're babies and they're hatched on land, they have to get out to sea to live, but the only thing is crabs will eat them and get them. It's actually kind of dark because when that happens, typically not all of them make it out to sea. Them crabs be coming in like, we're gonna eat your baby sea turtles. So it's kind of messed up, but hey, that's nature for you, right? Nature. I still remember this one game I played. It was this one game I played. I think it was like a Spyro the Dragon game I played. You had to freaking protect these sea turtles from these crabs. That was actually a pretty difficult mission when I was a kid. Anyways, I'm not talking about Spyro the Dragon. As much as I love Spyro the Dragon, I want to see Spyro the Dragon 4. Let's get to One Piece. So, we know last week, we saw how Imu was walking up the stairs to the throne that no one shall sit on because there is no real ruler. And when Cobra saw this, he was in absolute shock. So, Cobra, he's seeing this all happen. He's just like, oh hell. All this shit has been lied. This has been a lie. The whole government has all been a lie. I thought the pirates were the bad guys. Well, they are the bad guys. Some of them are really bad except Luffy, but it's like I said, it's funny how the world government parades around saying like, oh, we're doing the right things, we're all justice and everything and stuff like that. When guess what? They're no better than the damn pirates. They want to be as controlling as some pirates in the One Piece world want to be. Like Doflamingo, for example, but hey, that's kind of the thing there. Now, Cobra, he's shocked because he's like, nobody is meant to sit on that throne. You know, it is not meant for one person to sway the entire world. Cobra then asks, like, who the hell are you? But Im doesn't even care. Im is like, there are two things I wish to say and one thing to ask of three of the Cobra. And pretty much, with Cobra overhearing the Gorosei call Imu, Cobra goes on to drop this interesting revelation. He goes on to say, I know the name Imu already. Must be a coincidence among the first 20 now in the unofficials now on the unofficial translations. The unofficial translations, because this is completely different, because remember, I'm reading the Viz translation. In the unofficial translation, if you read that version, Cobra makes the mention that Imu is a name that dates back to pretty much the 800 years ago, and is the name of somebody from one of the original 20 kings or queens. So that means Imu, this name has been told of for over 800 years, and freaking Cobra's like, that's an original name of one of the 20 kings or queens from the kingdoms. What the hell are you? Now, I don't know why Viz did this whole thing where they had Cobra get his sentence cut off mid-dialogue, but I guess with Imu's personality right now, you know, it makes sense because Imu's kind of like a no-nonsense, because Imu just replies by saying, I do not seek that answer, and I will not provide it, pretty much. Now, I know a lot of people have issues with Viz translations and things like that. Kind of one of my more like things that I'm like, okay, why did they do that? Let's drop the revelation. If the unofficial translation dropped the revelation, then geez Louise, you can't drop it too, even though it's kind of a slight hint. So yeah. Anyways, Ian goes on to say, but I can tell thee what thou wish to know. The D is the name of those who once opposed us. Those who bubble up from every corner of the world bearing the D are nothing but empty husk, ignorant of the meaning of their name. However, this recent development has roots in Queen Lily's great mistake of 800 years ago. Now, Cobra's shocked about this. He's like, wait, mistake? What the hell are you talking about? Now, Eam goes on to say, as does the curiosity of the scholars rummaging after the Void Century. So he hints out about the O'Hara scholars, how they were looking into the Void Century, and hey, they found out the truth about the Void Century. Eam goes on to say, as does the spate of pirates seeking the poneglyphs for treasure. If not for Lily's mistake on that fateful day, the loathsome relics called the poneglyphs would not have been scattered across the world. So, hold on real quick. So, we pretty much, I guess, find out that Lily is the person responsible for spreading the poneglyphs around the world of the One Piece. Now, how she did that, I don't know. Does that mean the poneglyphs were all within the land of Marijua? Like, did the world government have the poneglyphs? And when they were coming to terms of making the world government, did Lily just go rogue and say, I'm taking these poneglyphs and putting them out to the world? Now, again, how she got those gigantic blocks of freaking rock, that's what we can call them, but that crazy metal, and put them in various locations, I don't know. Did she have a devil fruit ability to where, I guess it's like, I guess you can say like the Dragon Balls, after they're summoned, they just go their separate ways? Does she have an ability where she took all the poneglyphs and she just go and reach around the entire world and just fall somewhere? And, you know, obviously there were poneglyphs stationed in other areas. You know, could she choose where they were stationed at around the world? Because we know there was one poneglyph in the mausoleum in Alabasta. Unless that was somewhere else, you know, and hey, you know, royal officials from the Kingdom of Alabasta found it, moved it over, they put it in the royal mausoleum, and right then and there, they just kept it there as like a memento, pretty much. You know, I know it was a filler episode, but in the Alabasta arc in the anime, Zoro, Luffy, and Chopper came across a poneglyph underground. They didn't know what it was, but who's to say that maybe that poneglyph would be there in the modern timeline? Mind you, we don't know what that poneglyph said because Robin wasn't on the crew at the time, so she couldn't read it. So it is what it is, but it's very interesting. Now, last week I made the prediction, what if Lily is actually Eam? Well, this entire chapter just said, Cam. That theory you had, no, it's not that. So I don't think Eam is now Queen Lily, because now I seem okay. It's leading up that, okay, when the world government 800 years ago found out what Lily did, they were probably pissed off at her and they probably did kill her. Now, unless she got away and she was like, I guess you can say, somebody being followed for those years. And who knows? Maybe she had some sort of connection to Joy Boy. I'll get to that in a second. But it's very interesting how she was able to send out the poneglyphs. And if they were all like in this one spot, how did she do it? Maybe she did have a power. Or maybe whatever remnants were left of the original like Void Century Kingdom, the ancient kingdom, maybe they took those poneglyphs and she said, take these poneglyphs, put them in places where nobody potentially could find them, and take them away, and spread them amongst the world. Maybe there was like survivors of the ancient kingdom after the world government defeated them, that were willing to do that and say we have to this is our history. We have to, make sure we get this away from the world government. Who knows? But that is definitely something that could have happened very much. I don't know. I guess whenever we get the Void Century backstory of 800 years ago, maybe we will find out the truth. Okay, how did the poneglyphs get to like the far out reaches of the world? How did one poneglyph get onto Zoe? How did one poneglyph end up in Fishman Island? How did another poneglyph end it here? Yada yada yada. The locations of where these poneglyphs, we've been going across the story. Where were these found? Where were these? How did a poneglyph end up in Skypiea? For crying out loud. It's where, I would like to know how were these poneglyphs created, and then how were they scattered amongst the One Piece world? Because if they were all in one place, my only guess is either there were a group of people that just said, let's take it to the far reaches of place. Maybe like all the unique races in the One Piece world say, I'll take one, I'll take one, I'll take one. And it's kind of a unison thing of like, we cannot have the world government get one of these things. And we cannot have them get in. So, hey, maybe the minks at the time, maybe 800 years ago, if there were minks 800 years ago, maybe they said, we'll take this road poneglyph to our home of Zoe. And they'll never find it because Zoe's always a moving island, pretty much. So, anyways, I talked enough about speculation and predictions and theories and things like that. We cut back to Eam. And Eam goes on to say, and this unfortunate event of the past has a disastrous one potential explanation. Was the liberation of the poneglyphs actually a simple mistake, or was it planned? Like I just made a mention. Did Lily before maybe she was executed or something like that? Did she plan this? Did she work alongside people to be able to take the poneglyphs and say, take these to the far out reaches of the world, places where the world government would never look to see to. And again, like I said, Lily could have maybe seen the plan of the world government and ultimately like, this is not good. What we just did right now, this is not good. And maybe she was one of the people that could say, maybe we could have lived alongside this kingdom and became peaceful people. But maybe she saw that, no, the world government, they're out for control, they're out for power. And who knows, maybe 800 years ago, maybe she saw, and we're only predicting that, maybe Eam is 800 years old. Maybe she saw Eam back then, and Eam was the person that maybe proclaimed, like, I'm going to be the one that's the self-proclaimed ruler. Nobody will find this out. And maybe, guess what? Lily wasn't cool with that, and is like, this is not right. We can't be ruled like this. I thought we were doing this for a good cause. I thought we were doing this to have equality amongst everybody, not we all freaking order to one person. So, maybe she decided to be like, I could see if I can find any remnants of the ancient kingdom. Who knows? We'll see. It's kind of the thing. Now, in the meantime, that shocks Cobra. But then all of a sudden, you just have the Gorosei. They start getting out. They're like, they're getting their freaking guns out of the freaking, or their muskets or whatever, their gats out of their jacket. You have the one guy with the sword. He starts unsheathing his sword. He's like, yeah, all right, it's go time. He's found too much information out now. It's time to off this MFer. So, of course. You knew it had to happen. The moment freaking Cobra saw Eam, there was no way he was getting out of this room alive. And literally, I think on the next page, which I'm turning to right now, that's kind of, Cobra does make the mention, like, well, if I told a lie, would I be able to escape this, pretty much? And obviously, the Gorosei are like, you've seen too much, you've seen Eam, so, I think that's crossed the line, pretty much, so, yeah. Anyways, before we get to that point, Eam goes on to say, the answer to that question must be found within Lily's letter sent to Alabasta, but I have only heard thee speak of Queen Lily of the Nefeltari dynasty. Why do you hide it from Mu? Now maybe Imu calls itself, because we don't know if it's male or female, Mu. While people call it Imu. Don't know the reason behind that, but hey. Okay. Imu refers to there's itself as Mu. Anyways, Imu pretty much declares Cobra like, tell me what is in that letter. You must tell Mu the proper name of that sender. Please, pretty much. Otherwise, you're gonna be in a whole world of pain. And pretty much Cobra sees obviously the Gorosei getting their weapons out, and Cobra obviously thinking in his head, he's like, figures. I knew I probably wouldn't be able to leave this room alive, but it is kind of that it is. Now, Cobra goes on to obviously say, like, what if I told you a lie? Would I be able to escape the blow? Now, the big bushy mustache guy is like, the moment you saw the great Imu, your fate was already sealed. You were not leaving this room regardless, however you felt. So that's kind of the thing. Now, obviously Cobra's like, well, yeah, that makes sense. I just saw the greatest taboo in this world. They were to just let me leave. Jeez Louise, I would probably be, they would know that I'd be telling the truth. Things like that. So yeah, now Sabo's in the background, and he's just like, what the hell's going on? Something doesn't seem right about this. This seems very wrong. Now Cobra tells Imu and the Gorosei the letter that was signed by the Queen of Alabasta 800 years ago. Her name was Nefeltari D. Lily. Now, Imu hears this name, and Im is just like, D. Now, I don't know if Imu said it like that, but I would feel like maybe Imu, with the fact that it seems like Imu does not like people from the D clan, because I could definitely see Imu be like, motherfucker. Those damn D clan members again. So that's kind of the thing. Now all of a sudden, after that happens, we see this like arrow impale freaking Cobra coming out of nowhere. After this happens, we see Sabo jump up, and fire off a fire fist at the Gorosei. Point blank fire fist. Then he looks up at Imu and then fires this move called Room Check at Imu. Im sees this, and Im is pissed. And Im is like, where the hell did that guy come from? So that happens, but all of a sudden it looks like Im transforms and eats a blast. Now this is where things get interesting. All of a sudden we see these black silhouettes. We see from the top of the castle, what I'm guessing what is like literally this big like creature with hand. I don't know what it is. And then under it, we see these other these other looking beings that are clearly the 5 Gorosei. I don't know these are silhouette forms. One looks like a freaking, what people have been saying looks like the devil. One is pretty simple to show that like it's a bird. I don't know what the one in the middle and the one to the far right of the panel looks like, but okay. One, it seems that the Gorosei can transform and they have unique forms. Now, are these devil fruit powers? We don't know, because we haven't seen what they look like. Now, Sabo goes on to say, I would have liked to take you all down right here. To think that this was such a diabolical truth at the pinnacle of the world. That's kind of thing. Now, we obviously see one of the transponder snails take a picture of this going on. So maybe that's definitely the image where people they got, and they show that, okay, this is, we can use this to say that, oh, Sabo killed King Cobra, pretty much. Anyways, Cobra, he starts to get some conscience. He's like, wait, you're Luffy's brother, aren't you? And he goes on to say, why would you say me, even though you're revolutionary? And Sabo goes on to say, our real enemies aren't the kings, it's the guys pretty much above you. And he also asks, like, wait, you know Luffy? And pretty much Cobra's like, he saved my life. I can't go into details, but he saved my life a long time ago. And pretty much Sabo's like, okay, sounds good. Anyways, Sabo picks up Cobra and he starts getting about the room. And again, we see the other, like, Gorosei members going after him. Again, we see the bird. And the fifth one kind of has like a Scream looking face, like the Scream ass looking face. Again, I don't know what it is, but it's very much interesting. Now, Cobra's telling Sabo, listen, you need to escape on your own. It's too late for me. Don't worry about me. You need to escape. But obviously Sabo's like, no. And then obviously, Cobra's like, you know, I realized something today. You can't die here. Send a message to Luffy and Vivi. And obviously Sabo's like, wait, Luffy and Princess Vivi? What do you want me to tell them? And pretty much Cobra is like, tell them that we also bear the D. This shocks Sabo. And he goes on to say, Cobra goes on to say, at last, I see a way forward for Alabasta. And we get a quick little flashback within a flashback where we cut back to the kid days of Luffy, Ace, and Sabo. And pretty much Sabo asks Luffy and Ace, like, wait, do you guys both have the D in your clan, in your name? And obviously they're like, oh yeah, we're right. That's right. And things like that. And they pretty much say, hey, Sabo, do you want a D in your name? And we'll just call you Sadbo. So I don't know if this officially makes Sabo a D clan member. So yeah, now the fact that, okay, so one, we apparently find out Vivi has the D in her name. So now it's Nefeltari D Vivi. Who would have guessed? Vivi in some weird way is somewhat related to Luffy, but is in a part of the same clan, which in a way now makes sense when we saw Eam back at the Reverie arc hold the Vivi poster. You know, maybe that's the thing right then and there. I don't know, but that's absolutely crazy that now when I look at it, when I go back to rewatch Alabasta, I'm just being like, she has the D in her name. Oh my god. She has the D in her name. Holy hell. Okay. Well, that's just great. So yes. Anyways, we see that same arrow that attacked Cobra the first time actually not only impale Cobra again, but it gets Sabo too. And he actually gets cut up. Now, I don't know if this means that the Gorosei and Eam have Haki. I've seen other videos say maybe they have a different power that's able to hurt devil fruit users. I don't know. Maybe it is Haki. Maybe it's something else. I don't know. Also too, now that it's like the tail, now that this arrow is in the form of, well, an arrow, we saw like one of the Gorosei looking kind of like a devil. What if it's from that said Gorosei member and it's like a devil's tail? So that could be the case right then. I don't know. Anyways, Cobra pushes Sabo away, and pretty much, Cobra stands up and he says, "The poneglyphs must," and obviously there's this speech bubble that has a growl, in the way of what Cobra's saying, but you can pretty much read it out, and pretty much Cobra says the poneglyphs must be protected. Bear the flag of the dawn against the something world. So that's kind of the thing there. Now I forgot what it said in the unofficial translations, but they make it more harder to read here. But anyways, it pretty much he ends off the statement saying Nefeltari D Lily, and pretty much in his head he's like, I'm counting you on Sabo. So Sabo heard what Cobra said, and that's what the letter from the Lily stated. Pretty much, the poneglyphs must be protected. Bear the flag of the blank, bear the flag of the dawn against pretty much the world. What we would think is the world government, and that's where we cut away from there. Now the thing is, Sabo says King Cobra And obviously, that's the thing right then and there. And pretty much Cobra, his last, I guess, statement is like, you must survive. Now, while the Gorosei are looking over the dead bodies, they're like, who the hell is that? You see this tiny little peephole. Lo and behold, it's Wapol who saw this. Wapol's like, oh shit, they saw me. What the hell did I just see? Cobra died. Cobra died. There's somebody sitting on the chair. What the hell is going on here? So he's freaking out and everything. And he's like, I just saw something that I probably should have never seen. And you would think, out of all the characters to see something like that, Wapol would see it. Now, Wapol knows the truth. So Wapol, he just starts getting emotional. He's like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Otherwise, they're going to kill me just like they killed Cobra. So yes. Now, anyways, we go to this area called in the Round Table Council Room. And pretty much, it's the Reverie conference going on now. Some royal members like, it's interesting. Wapol and King Cobra have not made an appearance. And there's one royal's like, well, technically, Cobra got what he wanted. The abolishment of the Seven Warlord system, which I forgot to make a mention of in my anime episode review. Whatever. So maybe he just went home. He got what he wanted, so that's kind of the thing you're on. Anyways, let's move on with this. As for, they go on to say, as for the independence of the Four Nation Alliance in the North Blue. Now, that's kind of the thing. What is it? We see Shirahoshi again and her brothers, and pretty much her brother says, Shirahoshi, the meetings will be soon finished. Let's go and wait at the port where those fools won't come after you. And obviously, Shirahoshi, they're asking like, Shirahoshi, what's the matter? And pretty much Shirahoshi's like, I wanted to say goodbye to Vivi before we left, but I don't know where she could have went. Now, speaking of Vivi, she has been captured by CP0, and pretty much, I think we know why, so they can keep her hidden and probably make her be like, I guess you can say, a captive slave princess, I guess. Now, Vivi's questioning the CP0, like, why have you captured me? Why have you held me there? Who ordered this, pretty much. Now, this is in the guest room in Pangea Castle. Now, pretty much, Vivi's like, listen, I'm going to tell the entire damn world about this when I get the hell out of here. Now, we see the return of Khalifa and Jabra. Now, if you watch One Piece film Red, I think you saw Khalifa in the movie. But, okay, these people, even after their failure of Enies Lobby, they somehow got promoted to Aegis Zero of CP. Yeah, that makes sense. You do your job and you fail, and you let Nico Robin escape from Enies Lobby. And on top of it, you let the Straw Hats practically destroy Enies Lobby, and you get promoted. Maybe that's one of the cases with Lucy. Maybe he's like, I'll only go up to CP0 if you get everybody from CP9 promotions. So who's currently on CP0 or 9 now? I don't know. Anyways, Jabra's saying, you're too honest for your own good. What kidnappers are going to let you go after a threat like that, you headstrong woman? And pretty much Caulifla's like, you're not going to get out of this one, princess. You're going to go down as missing and end up as someone's pet. So practically, they kind of said, like, you're going to be declared as missing. And I guess in a weird way, she's going to be... I guess that means they would force her to pretty much be a slave. Which, that's kind of effed up, man. But it makes sense. You want to make sure you hide the fact that, hey, we killed her dad. We don't, and she knows about that. Well, then that's the problem. So that's kind of the thing there. Now, Vivi asks, is Shirahoshi safe? And pretty much they're like, wait, you're worried about somebody else? And pretty much they're going to say, well, all right, fine. It sounds like another incident happened anyways. But the long story short, she's okay. Now, Jabra goes on to say, the guys who walloped in the Celestial Dragon trying to abduct the Mermaid Princess were followers of Straw Hat Luffy. So Sai and Leo pretty much proclaimed on Marijua land that, oh, we're members of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. Now, why would they say that? I don't know why they would say that on the Holy Land of Marijua, but okay. You would have to imagine they escaped Marijua immediately and went out to sea. Only makes sense. And more than likely, Leo's probably with Sai. Because there is no way you're going to announce, oh, we're part of the Grand Straw Hat Grand Fleet. and we're just gonna walk away. We're just gonna be here. So whenever Sai and Leo meet up with Luffy, well, they're definitely gonna have to tell him, dude, we run the Holy Land of Marijois, and this happened. Obviously, that's kind of the thing. Now, they didn't see the whole story, but obviously, that's kind of the theme there. So, yeah. Anyways, Jabra goes and say, over in the land of the gods, Fujitora helped the revolutionary armies free the slaves, and Ryokyu snapped and turned on him. So apparently, Green Bull and Fujitora had a fight, and Fujitora helped out the revolutionary army free any slaves from Marijois, which is very interesting. We know Fujitora is a very honorable man. Is this a prediction? Are they hinting at the fact that maybe Fujitora will turn on the world government? Because it will make sense out of his character, because we know he's an honorable character and he knows there's something not right about this. Like, remember, Dressrosa. He freaking apologized to the people for saying, I'm sorry, the Navy couldn't save Dressrosa. This is all on our fault. And we know that Akainu did not like that. He did not like that. But we know Fujitora is a very honorable person, and he will not let things stand as is. So it would make sense in his character to help the revolutionary army to free the slaves, because he's like, this ain't right. Why are there slaves up here? What the hell are we doing? We're supposed to be the world government, you know? We're supposed to be upholding justice. Why are we doing things that shouldn't be happening? But that's kind of the thing there. Anyways, Jabra pretty much, he's like, man, this referee's been something special, damn it. So yes, anyways, Vivi's just thinking to herself, and he's like, I need to do something. Be someone's pet. Because she's like, please, I'm not gonna be someone's pet over my dead body, which I don't know if that means like she would be a slave, or she'd be forcefully maybe married to a celestial dragon in a way that's kind of like, that maybe would put like, they would probably put like a slave collar over her to make her do all these things and stuff like that. That would be my only thing. Maybe they would force her to marry a celestial dragon, but she'd be a slave doing it. But all of a sudden we see Wapol come through the room, and pretty much she's like, help me, I didn't see anything. Now all the CPs are like, what the hell? Vivi shocked. She's like, Wapol? And pretty much Vivi gets the idea. It's like, wait a second. So yes. Anyways, the chapter ends off with Wapol getting away, and the other CP0 members like, what the hell is going on with King Wapol? I don't frickin' know. All of a sudden, they turn their back. They're like, wait a second, Vivi's gone! And all of a sudden, Miss Universe, who was Wapol's, like, I guess, wife or fiance, is like, oh, I've been looking for you, honey. How have you been? And where have you been? And then all of a sudden, she's like, wait a second. Who's that woman you're with? And then pretty much, we see that Vivi is in Wapol's mouth. Get your mind out of the gutter, people. And pretty much Vivi's asking Wapol, he's like, Wapol, where are you? She's like, Wapol, where are you going? And pretty much Wapol's like, as far as I freaking can. If it's to the end of the earth, I don't freaking care. Somewhere when they can't follow me. And pretty much Vivi's like, okay then, I'll take you up on that offer. I'm going to. Take me with you. And pretty much Miss Universe thinks like, he's eloping on me? Chapter ends, no break. We're getting the chapter next week. This is my longest One Piece chapter reviewing. Probably, I think the longest. 30 minutes around? Oh my goodness. So now we're getting the build up. We're getting the understanding, okay. Obviously, we know that Vivi and Wapol are with are with Morgan's in his ship. Obviously, that's a smart place where nobody can find them, because why would they go to Morgan's? And obviously, we know that there were government agents there, and Morgan's beat some of those government agents up too. So that's the thing. We know that they're there. So now we're getting the understanding, okay, this is how Vivi ended up with Wapol. Now, I'm guessing maybe we're going to get a chapter or two of more flashback of this Reverie stuff to find out how they ended up with Morgan's, because obviously they had to get down and get out of Marijois. Now, how that happens, no freaking clue. Maybe they did something with Morgan's to where Morgan's like, listen, do this, this, and this. Or maybe Vivi's like, listen, hey, we have this juicy news. And Wapol, maybe, and actually, maybe before, when they ask Morgan's, hey, can we come across your ship to just hide out here? And Morgan's like, why should I let you come here on my ship? There's nothing you got. And then all Wapol can say, like, actually, I have some news that you might want to learn about that I saw that you might want to print out, pretty much. Right then and there. Now, the Gorse, they're going to, obviously, the Gorse, they're going to print out, like, oh, or maybe tell Morgans and print out that, hey, Sabo was the one that killed Cobra. But obviously, I think the reason why Vivi won't hold any grudges towards Sabo now is because since Wapol saw everything that happened, Wapol can tell Vivi, listen, don't believe what's in the headline. That man Sabo, that revolutionary guy Sabo, he did not kill your father. It was the real government that killed your father. So that's pretty much why we maybe see that Vivi isn't as pissed off as much as the next guy, and she's kind of calm and collected. This also potentially sets up, maybe Vivi is like, hey, Morgans, do you know where the Straw Hat Pirates are at? And pretty much Morgan's like, oh, I don't know. If wherever the next thing they're at, or where they're lying at, maybe we'll find them there. And who knows? I have to go back and read, but I don't know if news got out about frickin' Vegapunk potentially joining the Straw Hats. Now, whatever the next big piece is, maybe Morgans takes Vivi to Luffy and the others, or any other Straw Hats, to reunite them, and Vivi is now back and pretty much kind of an official member of the Straw Hat crew permanently now, I guess, till the time and I know a lot of people say, well, she is a Straw Hat member, she's an honorary one and things like that. I was but it seems more than likely enough we're gonna have Vivi returning to the Straw Hat crew, and I'm all for it. I will take Vivi on the Straw Hat Pirates again, and she's gonna be, this time, I guess, a full member. So Vivi's gonna be coming back for reals. My heart, it makes me feel damn good, damn it. I'm happy my girl Vivi. I love Vivi. Vivi's like one of my favorite damn characters in this damn series. It's not because she's hot, it's because I love her character and what she stands by. And two, it makes kind of sense. Because now she's a D-Clan member, so hey, she can actually say, hey Luffy, I have the same name as you do. Now I'm Nefeltari D Vivi. And who knows? Vivi can tell everybody, like, listen, I was saved by Wapol. Wapol told me this. You know, apparently Sabo was there, and all this happened. And pretty much that means the Straw Hats can then get the information about, wait, this is what's really going on in the world. Now Luffy obviously wouldn't understand. Luffy would be like, so I just have to go beat this Imu guy up and do this probably, huh? So yeah, but it's gonna be very interesting to see what's going to happen, man. But we're getting the build up to the end of this Marijwell flashback, but I think now we're getting this. I think we're gonna get one more chapter. It's gonna probably more than likely explain how Vivi and Wapol get to Morgans. And like I said, Wapol can say, listen, I have this information that you might want to print out on a paper. Now, if that news gets out in the paper, the world government is done. The world government is done. Now, the reason why is if Wapol did give Morgans the information, why has Morgans not yet wrote that in the headlines yet? Maybe Morgans is waiting for something to break, and maybe have another world government defeat him. He's like, all right, let's go. Print that shit out. We have the information, leak that stuff out, and show to the entire One Piece world that the world government is a bunch of goddamn liars. Now, I feel like that printer won't be that newspaper would not be printed till May, or who knows? Maybe Morgans is in the process of printing that paper out and saying, world government sham. The world government has always been a lie. There is actually one king. And if that's the case, well then the entire One Piece world is in trouble, because Imu is going to be pissed. So now, there is, along with Sabo, Wapol, and now with Vivi, because you would have to imagine, Vivi is going to ask Wapol, what the hell happened? Why were you running away? And Wapol is more than likely going to tell her everything. So now you have three people Now, and also too, eventually when Morgan finds out. So now you're gonna have 4 people who know about Imu's existence and what the hell is going on with the world government now. So you have Sabo, Wapol, Vivi, and then Morgan's eventually if, you know, he finds out from Wapol, Wapol tells him. Because I know Wapol is going to, because Morgan's, I feel like he's the type of guy that would tell, like, okay, I'll let you on my ship. You got anything juicy to talk about? And Wapol would say, I have this, but let's go. Please, hurry, make it fast. So, yeah, that means 4 people are going to know about Imu's existence. And it's only going to spread more with the more people they connect to, the more people they talk about. Now, Dragon and Ivankov know, too. Because remember, Sabo's telling Dragon and Ivankov this news, too. So, now Dragon... So, I think the people now that... I think the people we figured that now know about Imu's existence are this. Sabo, Dragon, Ivankov, Wapol, Vivi definitely has to know now, and more than likely Morgan's has to know now too. So yeah, and it's only gonna spread. And again, like I said, when Morgan writes the paper about the truth of the world government, and he says, "Who is this Imu character in the world government?" That's when everybody's gonna find out in the world about Imu. And now we're gonna see the fall of the world government start to take place. I don't know what Oda's cooking. But oh my goodness, this is going to be an exciting final saga ride, man. This is getting good. Again, I don't know when we're going to cut back to Egghead to figure out what's going on with the Straw Hats. A lot of people has been suggesting maybe that shadow silhouette that attacked, I think one of the Vegapunks, that was probably Saturn in his transformed state. I don't know. Honestly, right now, I want to see what the rest of the world is doing before I cut back to the Straw Hats, as much as I want to see what's going on with Luffy's crew and everything. But I need to get all this information out right now. So that's kind of the thing there. Also, that does mean that Sabo has to find Lily, or Vivi, and tell her everything, too, about the fact that she's a D-Clan member. But then again, Wapol would have confided that information to her. So, yeah. Anyways, that's pretty much it. If you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on this One Piece chapter, as well as hit the subscribe button if you want to get more One Piece content, or any other anime content or manga content I upload to the channel. Till then, guys, stay safe out there and have a great rest of your day or next video. Peace.